I am so excited for this stream because today we are gonna be talking about some of my original characters that I made for D&D, which I'm very happy with because they actually mean a lot to me because I designed all these characters. I don't know why, well, for D&D sessions, but I always make them really lore heavy and like put a lot of thought into them and make them a whole backstory that's very extreme and everything well thought out. I also thought I would go with like a little angel vibe today because why not? Look at the background, I love it. Also my makeup and the fact that I'm wearing white for once. So I thought that was really adorable. I feel really cute right now and so should you. Um anyways, as always, we are drinking iced coffee during the stream because I don't know why. I just felt like it. Also, I need the caffeine right now. You should also get yourself a drink because you deserve it. You should stay hydrated, take care of yourself. Maybe get yourself a snack too, you know? Treat yourself. You deserve it. Yeah, no, but I'm in need of iced coffee because I am a little bit tired. So please excuse it if my energy is a little bit low today. I am just, feeling a little, yeah, I don't know, just tired, I guess. Just feeling tired. Like a little bit. We also have this big ass terrarium next to us, as you can see. Because we have a little new guy here. His name is Harry. And I think he just went into, how do you say it? Like when animals, into hibernation, accidentally. But that's okay, because he's a hamster. So he's allowed to do that. I can actually move the camera just to show him for a little bit. Should I? Also, I'm wearing a lot of glittery makeup. I have recorded a video about like a little makeup haul of all of the makeup I bought this autumn because there's so many glitters and glittery products of like high quality in the drugstores right now and I'm very obsessed with it. So I filmed a little haul of that. That will be coming out when it's edited. I have one of my friends who actually like enjoys editing videos a whole lot. She also edited a video for me which will be going live like tonight. I'm very happy with that video. She's so great. She's so amazing and she does that so well. It's so cool and the fact that she wants to do that for me, it's just, I love that. I love her. Anyways, I will show y'all Harry because look, you can like see him. Oh, okay, wait, I don't know, you can't see it on camera, but like he's twisted and turned and like upside down and his snout is up in the air and like other parts of his body are, I have to take a picture of this. I am so sorry. This is really adorable. He's such a happy guy. We actually got him for my sister because she didn't want to. Oh. He's just turning him. Wait, can you see it? No, you can't. Oh. I need like a hamster cam or something, I think. So I can just like put him in the corner and let y'all just watch the hamster live. But he's so adorable. He made like a little burrow. But we got him for my sister because she didn't want to care for him anymore because she never saw him. Because obviously hamsters are like very, well, they're nocturnal. So they are awake during the night and during the day they're just sleeping. But he's really happy here. I gave him like a lot of snacks. Of course, he's staying away from the rats because you wouldn't want those things to mangle with each other. Because they'll fight, and that's not right. But this is the one room where the rats are like not allowed, or they're allowed, but like under strict supervision. So that's usually like one at a time, or like if Chester brings them in and shows them off, that's when the rats come in. But also the cage is like with like chicken wire on top, so nobody can get in. So we should be safe. I don't know why I'm going on a rant right now about a hamster. Like, I'm supposed to be talking about D&D characters, but I'm very happy with Harry here. Harry the hamster. We love him. He's so adorable. I love the fact that he decided to make his burrow on this side, so we can actually see him so well. It's so cute. Anyways, that was my my entire rant about the little hamster we have. I'm gonna take a sip real quick because... Great. It was in fact stream time. It was! Hello Nezo! Welcome back! Remember when I told you like first day we would do an entire stream about like D&D characters and lore characters and all of that jazz? This is that stream. YouTube peeps go... Oh, I forgot to say! Ooh! Like Nezo just said, YouTube peeps go subscribe. So like if you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Come join our weird little club here. I guess the PompyPie club. My friends are already like, oh, we started the PompyPie fan club. It's really cute. Nezo, do you want to see the hamster? I can show him again. Because he's cute. Well, you can't really see his face, but like I can show you him from afar. So, look, he's sitting here. He made this little burrow here. Do you see the little guy? He is possibly in hibernation right now. So, he might literally just sleep there for the entire winter. And we'll only see him whenever he wants food. Which is fine. Also, we discovered that the hamster is really, really jacked. Like, really jacked. Like, the back muscles on that thing, it's... Like, he went to the gym. He has that mindset. Like, jeez. We love to see it. Anyways, this will be, like, an entire stream about me just, like, rambling to a screen for possibly an hour or more. Yeah, thank you! Oh, I am so happy. I am so happy. We got 100 subscribers on YouTube, which means I will be eating an actual pumpkin pie soon. Not the entire pie, by the way. I can't fit that much in my stomach. But, no, we will be filming, like, me eating a pumpkin pie for the first time. My sister actually volunteered to make me the pie. And I'm really happy because she's so supportive about this entire YouTube thing. I love it. But she's gonna make me the pumpkin pie. Because, like, I'm Dutch, so it's really hard to find around here because it's not a typical Dutch thing. And I'm really excited for that. I'm so happy. I'm also recently just, like, getting random comments on videos of, like, people returning or people that, like, watched the epic reaction videos I did who are now also watching my other videos because they liked my vibe and stuff. I love it so much. Thank you all for being here. It makes me so happy. So yeah, also Nezo, you're at the moment like my biggest supporter, I think. Also, my girlfriend's parents are allowing me to sleep over at her place on the 26th. Ah, that's so great. That's so great. I'm so happy for you. Oh, that's so exciting. Oh my goodness. Do you have like good parents-in-law? Is that how you say it? Are they fun? I really like my father-in-law. He's also really supportive and stuff. He literally treats me like a daughter already, and it makes me so happy. I feel very welcome and everything. Yes, that's great. Like, he comes over once a week to just like have dinner with us, and I'm cooking each time, and he loves it. It's so nice. Also, I love that like this side of my hair just shows up as black, but it's in real life it's like a greenish purple spill, so I don't know what's happening. I really need to, you know, in like, if we're correct, I'll get like in November I'll get the first like real payout. And then I can finally get a new webcam and mic, which I'm very happy and excited about. They already called me son-in-law. Lighting, that's great, to be honest. That's lovely. That's lovely. That makes me so good, so happy to hear, so good to hear. That makes me good. I'm great at talking, as you can see. Anyways, I am debating with myself which characters to get into first. Shall we just like start with my first ever character and then like work our way up to like the more and more and more complex characters? The beginning of a stream is just setting the happy mood, right? we're just being happy right now. I'm about to ruin it because like most of my characters are so tragic, but right now we're just happy. Sure, okay. My first character, and this is really funny because I was like with a friend one-on-one, and at some point we just like started creating characters in a certain universe, and just kind of that turned into a D&D. But we didn't really know that we were playing D&D yet until we were like, okay, listen, maybe we should look into D&D and like get a dungeon master and actually figure this out instead of just like role playing a story, I guess. So we got an ADM, and it was really cool. We actually, this whole entire D&D campaign was set in the universe of SCP. I don't know if any of y'all are... Yeah, the calm before the storm. The calm before the storm. I don't know if any of y'all are like familiar with SCP. But it's a world that's just... Yes! I actually want to do a series about that at some point. I love that so much. Like SCPs and creepypastas and stuff. I would call it SC PompyPie. With like the SCP like encapsulated. I don't know how to spell it. Yeah, the second spelling was right. I think. I also have dyslexia, so don't ask me, to be honest. But it's set in that universe, and the entire world just basically got destroyed by a world-ending event. And they sent all the SCPs that they had on these spaceships into space. Because they were like, maybe we can find a way to actually remake humans and remake and like either turn back the events, because you have like time-changing SCPs, or if we can actually remake humanity or like turn another planet into a new Earth or whatever. They had like a bunch of things they needed to test out to just like remake humanity. And we played with self-inserts, but like self-inserts to an extent. So they had our personality, they had our looks. Armageddon type event. Yes, literally. Literally. So our characters had our looks, and they had our vibe and like everything. But of course, more lore. So my friend just... My friend was just like a D-class prisoner kind of thing. Like he had mild universal powers that he can like hop in and out of realities and stuff. But they were really light. Poor friend. Yeah. So he was D-class. He actually got stuck on that ship. Accidentally, kinda. It's weird. The first thing my character knew was that she was sitting in a room across from someone from the SCP Foundation. She was getting stressed, and she had the D-class person next to her, which was her friend as well. She was getting stressed. She decided, oh shoot, we need to escape. So she like ran out. Then discovered quickly that she had weird powers that just kept changing. She could literally go through walls, throw a suitcase that just followed the guy around the corner just to hit him over the head. Revive a person that literally was dead already. My friend, for the entire first session, was passed out. He was unconscious. I had to drag him with me because he kept failing all of his rolls. And I kept, like, acing mine. So I just had to carry him through the entire thing. We met Bride as well and all that jazz. And I can't, like, tell y'all about the entire campaign. There's a lot that happened. A lot of... I was a lucky thief. Very much so. There's a lot that happened in that campaign. So, I'm just thinking what I should tell. There were a lot of self-discoveries. Because also at some moment, she was like, they discovered that she obviously had powers, so they tried to contain her and lock her up, and she was stuck with Gears, which is a very emotionless guy, like a researcher and stuff. And at some point she accidentally stops time, and then she got to talk to a guy that like appeared from another time. You can barely see chat on stream because of the lighting, because the chat is white. Yeah, can I change that actually? Give me a moment. Is there like a... They're all white fonts. Okay. This one should work. I think. Anyways, yeah, no, but you were right about that. SpongeBob music, literally. Wait, can I... Oh, no. I was moving myself there. Look, I can make the chat bigger. That's great. Okay, anyways. I was thinking... My brain is not computing today, as you may notice. I am also in test week, so I don't know how often I'll be alive next week, because I'll probably be stressing about homework. So great. Yes, right? This is better. This is way better. So anyways... Hey, me too. Great. Then we'll both be stressing about homework. I'll be in the text week too. Yeah, you said so. That's insane. Like, I have 3 projects and I'm already stressed. That's, let alone 3 tests. I would die. Like, someone's gotta pick me up at that point. But the guy was like talking to her, examining her, and at some point he walked around her and literally just cracked open her back and just started looking inside, touching shit. That's when we discovered that guy, I forgot his name. But that guy was like the biggest technical advanced person in the entire universe that like lived interdimensionally. And he was the richest man alive, basically. He made robots, and she was a robot. She was one of his. And he said something like, oh, you're faulty, like you're not working properly. And like he went away. Then we discovered that every time she dies, she basically just like loses the entirety of her skin. Becomes like one of the... Did y'all ever see Terminator where like he loses the fake human skin? That was her. She basically became like an exoskeleton that started growing skin again. And every time she regrew skin, I had to roll the dice to check what my new powers would be. At some point she had... And then I didn't know myself which powers they were. The DM knew, so then I had to try and use them, and then they would... Something random would happen. I have had a lot of powers, like literal telekinesis, plant growth, which was... We were in a facility that had no plants. And then I managed, when we were fighting off Clef, I believe, who just wanted to erase us because he doesn't like SCP, he just wants to kill them. Clef tried to, well, get rid of me. And I managed to actually pop a piece of a bean, because we were in the cafeteria, into his foot. And I grew an entire beanstalk out of it, so he couldn't move anymore. And then I made broccoli soldiers out of all of the broccoli that was being served that day. So, like, ridiculous powers like that. Flight 2 at some point, I believe. All kinds of stuff. But she was going on, like, a trip to, like, self-discovery. What's happened was that I have to look up his name. I am quickly gonna do a Google search. Literally just googling like SCP Rich that guy. That's not him. That's not the one I mean. Can I not find his name? I can't find his name. So sad. I can't find the name. Oh, no, I can. Okay, Vincent Anderson. I think that's him. Like, Mr. Anderson. I think that was him. If I'm mistaken, please correct me. I would love to actually get his actual name. But Anderson of like Anderson's Creations, Google interruption, indeed. At 1,000 subs on YouTube, you'll start getting monetized there too. I would love that. At 1,000 subs, I'm allowed to actually give Kai an entire makeover, like one of my friends, an entire makeover. So if we can actually make that happen, I would love that. I would love that. So here, that person, like the very rich guy, turns out he was her father, when she was actually a human, like back when she was a human. And stay hydrated. Yes, stay hydrated. Take care of yourself. But she was like, she used to be a human, but then something terrible happened. And while she was a human, she was very depressed and everything, because she didn't know her mom, because she was basically just another researcher her dad used for this project. She only had her dad, and her dad was rather cold and distant, and she never really saw him and never was able to form like a connection with him. And then one day, because of a failed project from him, she actually died. And it's debatable whether or not her dad actually was like, oh, I need my daughter back because I love her. It was more likely that he was like, oh, I need her back because I can't fail. Like, I'm supposed to be perfect. I can't have my daughter, like my own flesh and blood, die on me because of my failure. So he, in an attempt to like cover it up, he made an entire exoskeleton for her and turned her into a cyborg with a very like one-of-a-kind SCP thing inside of her that kept her alive and kept her going and like made her soul actually bind with the entire robot. So there was no part of her that was human anymore, except for her soul that was literally trapped. And the soul had just been happy about dying because it had peace, and then it was literally just like FNAF be like, literally. And the fact, I actually didn't think of that when I made this one. I keep on, like, whenever I'm telling people about my, like, original characters or, like, my D&D characters, people keep referencing stuff, and I'm like, I didn't know. Like, I had not made that connection yet. So her father actually put, like, that contraption into her, soul locked her, and then literally dropped her into that spaceship because he didn't really know what to do with her. Because he didn't think she knew who she was yet, because she didn't have her memories back. So during the entire D&D campaign, she kept getting flashes of like being on an operation table, being strapped down, being turned into a robot and everything like that. They were horrible. And she also figured out that her father used her for other things like assassinations, or like that she was responsible for the death of other people, but it was more likely that they were researchers, and when she wasn't stable, she accidentally killed them, but she still felt that guilt and all of that stuff. And all she wanted was to just figure out, first of all, who she was, why she felt so human but she wasn't a human anymore, like the dissonation between that, while she was fighting off all of these different SCPs that were trapped on the ship with her. She tried to form connections with people, so she had like the D-class personnel that we talked about, that was like her one friend. He was very freaked out by her. He was like, maybe I should just keep being friends with her, because otherwise I might die, she might kill me. She thought it was genuine friendship. Then she lost them, because there was also another guy, a very bulky Viking that didn't know he was in present time, but we loved him so much. At some point she thought they died, and she was the only one that got away, so she had a lot of survivor's guilt. Then she discovered 2 other people. They went with her. She thought she had friends again. Then she actually accidentally, well, not her fault, but an entire room just basically burned out, and she was the only one able to get away because she doesn't need oxygen. So the whole room was burning up, and she was the only one that didn't need to breathe, so she got away again, but then had so much survivor's guilt again. But like, she couldn't die, so she just had to live with it. Then she found 2 new people again, but at this point she was so scared that people would just keep dying because of her. They actually discovered a kind of heaven, where she got to talk to a literal god about everything that happened to her, and all the guilt she feels, and all the shame and everything. And the god literally told her, like, why not just rest? Why not just give up? And why not just come? And she was like, I can't yet. I need to find out who I am. Like, why I'm here. What is my purpose? And the god literally told her, like, that's fine. I will be here waiting for you once you're ready. So they went on. Then she discovered the friends, like the D-class personnel and the Viking, didn't actually die, which was great. So they joined forces again with the 2 new people. They actually got really far. And then they finally reached the middle and they discovered that nobody was alive anymore. No humans were alive anymore. Everything was doomed. The entire world was doomed. She cried out to her dad. He didn't even respond and he didn't even bother to talk to her. And at that point she was like, okay, I'm done. And at that moment she felt so much like desperation and stuff, and she decided, yes, I just want to rest at this point. So she literally decided to just give in. And then her soul literally left her body and basically was just like taken by the god into open arms. And for the first time she actually felt the warmth again of like touch that she's never felt before, and she was taken in. And because my character died, we stopped the entire campaign. That was the end of that. And the other players were fine with it. Because it was like a first D&D session for everybody, and so nobody had like very developed characters yet. Everything kind of turned around my character. So yeah, she gave in. But she was very sad all of the time, but also, yeah, she was fun to play. Next character is Ver. Ver was a giant. We haven't really had time to play with her that often yet. Ver was a giant woman who was actually raised by bears, by mutant bears. She was an elf, and I don't know if y'all know anything about elf, but they're supposed to be these graceful... I was AFK for a moment. That's fine. I'll just keep talking. They're these great, graceful creatures, like beautiful, no hair anywhere, just all that. But she was literally left in the woods to just fend for herself, and these mutant bears picked her up, took her in, and literally raised her as their own. So she talks bear. She had this druid that was actually like just a walking, talking turtle that actually joined her. Editing my YouTube channel publicity things. Oh, cool. Fair enough. So she was like, she was, people had to translate her. She was allowed to use her strength as intimidation because she couldn't talk. So I used charm. And she basically just the entire time, I just have to grunt and make noises and movements. And then slowly she started to learn how to talk to people. And all that jazz. But like very much we followed like the process of how a child would learn a language. It's very funny. I was just sitting like like all that stuff. And then the party, and literally I could not tell y'all, like tell the party what I meant. So only the druid friend had to pretend to translate for me. So he was just making up stuff that I said. So I was like, and then he was like, she's angry right now. And she was like, it was really funny. But then she learned language through like a toddler learns like a baby learns language, like through trial and error and like a couple of words and basically sounds at the beginning and all of that stuff. She actually, her sad story was that at some point her tribe was attacked and her father, the bear, the head of the tribe, he got killed. And that was so shocking to her that out of respect she like, that's weird, she skinned him, but like she made leather out of his skin and wore it as a mantle so she could wear her father with her on her quest to like avenge him, because she wanted to make the person that killed him watch his face while she killed him, so he could still be a part of it. And the mental actually has like pieces of her dad's soul, so she has like a very big connection to him. She can actually, there was some magical aspects about it that she could use, and then he would join in the fight. She was also engaged during that time to like another bear, which is very weird. But turns out he was a werebear. But like, instead of being a human and then turning into a bear once a month, he was a bear but like turned into a human once a month. And he was very confused by it. He was like, that went from, oh, that sounds funny, to that's some evil shit real quick. That's gonna be all of my characters. Just a heads up. That's I'm sorry. But then she left because she wanted to go on that quest alone, because only the people that were left were like a couple of the male bears, but like a lot of children, like cubs, were left, and like their mothers. So the tribe was very small, and she needed to go out and avenge them, and become strong to actually take her father's position and everything. And there was a lot of pressure on her for that. She also literally, like, you know, animals that are caged for too long, the longer she's in human society, the more mental she basically goes. All of the things she can't process, the things that happen because they saw people turn into monsters. She started pulling out her own hair because she just couldn't handle it, couldn't process it, like an animal would that's been in captivity too long or that's been abused. At some point she actually they got revenge, and she actually found stuff that her father, the bear father, left for her, which were fangs that she could literally, like, fangs of gold that she could pop in to actually become more bear-like. And the weapon, I kind of forgot what the weapon was, I'm sorry. Oh no, his crown, his literal crown, like that made him like the chief. So she got those things, and they went back, and they found another hide, and she actually put that on her deer. Like she actually became best friends with this other crown on a stick. Well, no, the crown was not the weapon. She got a weapon, and then she got a crown as well. The crown was laid on another bear hide, and she actually gave that bear hide to her dearest friend Persephone, who was, I forgot what she was exactly, but she got the hide. So she was like, you're my friend, and now you can actually join my tribe, because now you're part of us. You can actually wear her, and then you'll also be a bear. They also raised like a dragon egg, by the way, which is a whole different story. So she got her revenge for her dad and everything. She saw her potential husband again. They're still gonna get married because they're good. You're my friend now, let's have some tacos. Literally, that's how it went. Like, she was the only one that took the time to actually teach her language and everything, and like understand her. It was really sweet. She also met her biological dad, but she really despised him at first, because how are you gonna like a guy that you thought just left you there? And also he was immediately like, oh, I'm your dad. And she was like, you have no right to that title. You have not been a father to me. I have a dad, and he's dead. But I will never call you my father, because you're not. Like, you're the reason I'm here. But you didn't raise me. You didn't make me the person I am to this day. You didn't teach me anything. You're not my father. Yes, it was a real I am your father moment. So they literally fought a whole bunch. Then he actually taught her how to fight better. Literally. That was also not my fault, but yes, it's accurate. Why is this all accurate? So they actually fought and stuff. He taught her a lot of stuff, and at some point she actually accepted him, but she was like, listen, you'll never be my dad, but I'll call you my father. It was something like that. And that's kind of where it ended. So yeah. moving on to a next character. I'm just now debating who we're getting into. You know what? I'll let you pick a name. Just checking in my head if I have... Oh no. I can like do one more small character that I have, which is Justice. She's basically just a female version of Homelander, because that was kind of more of like a small joking campaign with not really in-depth characters. She's a warlock paladin who's just an ASMR, which is like an angel. And she has these Kenkus that follow her. Those are like supposed to be... the Kenku is supposed to be Black Noir, like keeping her in check. But the Kenkus can only say I like morally grey characters. I have a wonderful character for you for that one. You know what? We'll go from my morally grey character to my other morally grey character to my downright evil character to my very good character soon. But like, she's basically just Homelander, so there's not a lot to say there. As a joke, she literally just carries milk around. And like the Kenkus keep dying, but she doesn't know because there's always like a new one and she just thinks it's the same one because she never really bothered to get to know them better. It's kind of sad. She's very egotistical. There's not a lot to say about her because she's just that, I guess. We're taking a short lip gloss break because I want to. Before we get into the morally grey characters, I guess. Also, I discovered that there's actually like a TikTok account that made an edit of me, and it's freaking hilarious. I love it. YouTube people, water break. You know what? Yes, let's all just collectively take a sip of our drink so we stay hydrated. And I stay caffeinated, I guess. Is there actual caffeine in this? Because I do feel like every time I like drink this, I start feeling more energized because I have been having problems with like tiredness as of lately. There's actual caffeine in this. That explains. I have been like having trouble because I've just been tired a lot lately, and then this thing helps for some reason, so I just drink it whenever I try to focus and stuff. Yeah, I literally did. Like, it was so hilarious. I reposted it. It was so funny. It was with Des Watches. Also shout out to him, but like he doesn't need my shout out here. He's hilarious. It was really funny. I loved it. Now I'm just thinking again. Oh yeah, my morally grey character. We'll start with my most sensible morally grey character. Her name was Serona. She was a tiefling. I am back. Yes. You are back. She was a tiefling and she was raised... backstory about the lands. They were two giant countries that were basically at war with each other. It was terrible. One side was very deep in this war. Like, people were living in slums. It was awful. Everybody was poor. There was barely any food. And the other side had like healthcare, was doing very well, and all that jazz. Recently, the king and queen of the country that was doing well actually had died, so their daughter, the princess, had to take over. But she was very much still mourning her parents, and she was very insecure about it and everything, so they had a weak spot there. So they sent a team to actually assassinate the princess, and my character was part of that team. But everybody thought they were like criminals that had been arrested and they had blackmail on them. My character was the only character that wasn't, and she was actually a double agent in the sense, well, not a double agent. She was like an agent that had to keep them in check and make sure the mission was fulfilled. The first time she arrived, she was literally veiled, like a bride. She was wearing like a wedding dress, perfectly white wedding dress, just veils all over her, laced everything. You could not see her face. She had this giant head with like a giant brim, just completely veiled. But for some reason there was like no dirt on it anywhere. And also she stepped out of the wagon everybody got out, sweaty, disgusting, everything, because they've been stuck in there for like days. She stepped out perfectly. The floor was all muddied. She just stepped out in heels, just walking a straight line. She was just very tiny. I make my characters tiny a lot. She was very dainty, very tiny. She was very, yeah. So that was her entrance. Nobody really knew what she looked like, but she showed her face once, and then they just like saw a normal human girl. So they just like were like, okay. At some point, she actually revealed that she was never a real human. She was a tiefling. And also at some point they like had a guy. They basically just like needed his outfit, so they like knocked him out, and they thought that was done. But then my character just, with her gloved hand, well, she took her glove off and she revealed her nails, and then just like pushed them through his chest, grabbed his heart, ripped it out, put it under the veil, and ate it. This character was a true man-hater. I wanted to make like a character that just despised the other gender, like the other sex, because I thought that was funny. Well, not funny, but like interesting to make. And also to create that in a way that it would be well thought out. She had her reasons, but also would be open to change if the party would allow it. I wanted to make it well thought out, you know, not like, oh, you hate men because this, like, oh, you hate men because these reasons, and we can actually try and get that out of your head. So her whole backstory was basically that her mom was very poor, and then her dad, her biological dad, who was actually the head of like the entire country in that moment, because he was the office, how do you say it, like he was the head of the military, which placed him in charge because of the war. Like he was a dictator basically because of the war. So he crossed by, he saw the mother of Sorona, who was beautiful, and he just needed to have her. So he had her. Trigger warning, without the mother wanting him. Think you can understand where that goes. So her mother gave birth to her alone. And she basically raised Sorona with a lot of hate. So much hate. Towards men in. PompyPie. Oh, that's so funny. Wait, I will actually... Okay, quick break. I will actually add that to the poll right now. I also love that there's actual people, like, voting. Oh, I can't edit. Okay, I like it, but I feel like Mythology Pie is also doing well. I think it's gonna be Mythology Pie, though. But I do like the name PompyPie. I will mention it in like the podcast that I'll actually upload, and then people can like say in the comments if they want me to change it or not. Anyways. Hello, Sydney! We're doing great. We're actually like talking about original characters and like D&D stuff. So I'm so happy to see you again. That's so great. PompyPie sounds great because it starts with the people. Yeah, I know. That's cool. But I feel like Mythology Pie kind of fits in with like the Creepy Pie and the Sleepy Pie podcast, which we already have. Like it's very straightforward. I'm doing great. You? Yeah, how are you, Sydney? So her mother just basically... Oh, that sounds wonderful. It's going well. It's going really well. I'm just having a chatting stream right now. Doing good too. I'm glad. Anyways, let me get back into it. If I can actually think of Sorry, I'm getting distracted by Harry because he's having dreams, I think. He's eye-boggling. Or like chewing something in his sleep. It's very adorable. Also, we have, Sydney, we actually now have a hamster here. Yeah, good to know that you look wonderful today, though. Thank you so much! Thank you so much! We actually have Harry the hamster now. Like, he's in a little burrow down here. You can see him. He's in hibernation right now. Oh, you can see him move. Look at that. He's so adorable. I love him. He's so cute. He's just a little guy. No, but like, so her mom basically... Sorry, Sydney, we're getting into the D&D characters. I hope you can follow. I have Harry the cat and she has Harry the hamster. Yes, we're matching. I just noticed that now, LMAO, right? Look at the entire hamster. The bunny is still here though. He's in the background. But the hamster! Anyways, just me screaming about a hamster for like 40 minutes. You have Harry, your friend. We now have Harry the hamster, Harry the cat, and Harry your friend. Oh, that's absolutely hilarious. Oh, I love that. I love that. He's so cute. I can't. I need to stop looking at him because I'll get distracted. The trio, yes. Harry the friend should have like pets just named Harry. So you have like Harry the dog, Harry the cat, Harry the hamster, Harry the rat, Harry the mouse, Harry the snake. Just make it a brand. So like, but like, to get back in the very dark, very morbid story, her mother basically just like despised her for it. Obviously, she blamed a bit of it on her because she thought she was a lot like her dad, and she installed all those morals into her of like, you gotta hate men, especially men in charge. They're just evil. They ruin your life. They ruin everybody. And she literally installed that into little child Zorona. And Zorona knew she was being... Her mother was always, like, mad at her for some reason, but she couldn't figure out why is my ultimate pet. Yeah, I think you've won. I think you've won. You have the best pet of them all. But like, little Zorona understood that she was being blamed for it, so she had a feeling like in her entire life that she had to make up for it, and then also she had this incredible hate for men instilled in her, so she couldn't really change that. Harry is my ultimate little serial killer. Yes, we heard about that. All of the birds and stuff that he kills. Oh no, murders all of my. Oh no. So then she decided to... Harry is a great guy, lol. Shout out to Harry. Shout out to Harry. We love to see it. I love this hamster so much. I actually got him from my sister. I said that at the beginning of the stream as well, but I actually got him from my sister. It makes me so happy. Anyway, story continue. Yes. She, in the little poor area that they lived, she actually started a group. Because she noticed that because she was so beautiful and she was very charming, she could actually manipulate people, and especially men, into doing her bidding for her. So she basically saw them as tools. So she had this little group of men, and she would have women come to her and be like, oh, my husband mistreats me, or my husband cheats on me. And she would plainly go out with those guys, make sure the guy dies. Consume his heart, because she thought that would make her stay young. Of course that doesn't work, but you know, we can try. And at some point she actually knew that like she wanted to get higher up because she had a lot of skills. She was very manipulative. She could get people to do anything she wanted them to. She could basically lead a group of people very well, and she was like, I can use these skills to get higher up. So she decided she wanted to get back at her father, and the only thing she had from him was a button that would match his uniform. So at some point her mother died, and then she actually decided to go work for the government, for the army, and like try to win her dad's trust. So at some point she could basically stab him in the back. And it worked pretty well. She managed to, of course, get this gig. She was one of the most successful leaders they had in that army. But she could not show her father who she was. So she literally sawed off her horns. So she only has little stumps and they'll never grow back. She is completely veiled, completely mysterious. Because she has to hide all of the secrets, of course. And whenever she does show her face, she uses a magical spell that makes her look human instead of a tiefling. Because she's fully a pink tiefling with like blacked out eyes, and like she had black horns and black hair. Not really the image you would picture, but the very white, innocent look she was trying to portray herself as. She got very high up in the army, and she got this gig. And at some point she revealed to like the party. There was, funny enough, we only had, even though we had more male players, we only had one male player that actually made a male character. The rest were all females, so she was basically leading a female team. So she was very happy. And at some point she was able to make peace with the one male character. And then she realized, oh, maybe I should not just randomly hate men. But of course she did kill that one guy, and it was weird. And at some point she actually saw the princess, and she realized how much better that country was in general, treating all of their people, being nice to basically everyone, protecting people, all that jazz. And she realized she wanted to join their side and help them out. So when she actually got to the chambers of the princess, there was like a tiefling guard in front of it, a very strong tiefling guard. She could not get past her even if she tried. But she decided to like try and basically be nice and be like, listen, I want to join your side. I want to help get rid of my father. This is me. She pulled off the head. And that was the first time the party actually saw her true nature. And they were very accepting, actually. But very shocked. And she literally said, like, if you give me a piece of her clothing and smear her blood on it, we can pretend that she died, like put the country into mourning for a couple of days, just so I can go back, get close to my father, show that we did it, and then get rid of him and help you, well, make a peace treaty between the countries and we can end the war. And the tiefling guard didn't go along with it. She also had big reactions to any strong female figure that was a tiefling, because it reminded her of her mom. But they didn't want to go along with it. She was a bard, by the way, but she would use her voice just to manipulate people. So she would be like, you can do this, and then they would get bardic inspiration, or they would straight up listen to her because her charm was so freaking high. She never, even in battle, she never needed to hurt anybody because people would just fight for her and she would just be boosting them all the time. She never got her hands dirty unless it was to rip out a heart. Very impressive stuff. But then she went back to the country and she actually met her dad, but she didn't reveal to him yet that it was her because they had to do one last job. But that she didn't trust her dad enough to actually not put her blood in the thing, so she didn't get trapped. There was a whole trap thing. They got sabotaged. And after the sabotage, because she didn't do that, she was the only one that actually could talk to the crowd of people outside. And she basically convinced the entire all of the people from the village, like, we need to attack my father. So they all joined in to attack the giant guy's house, which was the security there was hard to break into, I guess. Like, hard to take out. And they actually managed to get to him. And he was at first screaming things like during the war, like, you're no daughter of mine. You would never do this. And then at the end, listen, mommy and daddy issues. Because I study psychology, and I know that a lot of issues are formed from like parental bonds, and that's an area I really enjoy exploring from a psychological standpoint. I don't have them. I love my parents. Like, I love my mother and my father and my sister, and I just, from a psychological standpoint, those characters are like the most interesting to explore, because there's so many things that can like be created in your brain, so many links that can be made from the primal contact not being the right way, like they're not being the primal bond. My friends say I have daddy issues, but I don't know my father. Oh, I should not laugh about that. I'm sorry. Is that real, or were you joking? No, but that's... Yeah, no, that's... I kind of hate the word, like, it's real. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to laugh. I thought it was a joke. But that's awful. It's fine. Okay. I mean, I don't... Like, with the whole daddy issue thing, I feel like that cuts it too short. And that also kind of puts the blame on the literal child. But I'm like, it's the father who left. Or, like, the father who did it. Yeah, true, but there still can be feelings there, and that's completely valid. Like, even if you do have moments where you miss him, or miss... Well, not him, but, like, the a father, that's completely valid. But, like, daddy issues is not really a word I like to use, because I feel like it's not the responsibility of the kid that their father wasn't a great dad. It's the dad's fault. So... maybe it should be daddy's issues. Like, daddy's issues. But I'll get back to the story. I got over it, and I learned to cope with it there. Well, if you have good coping mechanisms, that's great. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I have, for some reason, always had partners with, like, daddy issues. Or, well, daddy's issues, or, like, mommy's issues, and all that jazz. Like, they came from very dysfunctional characters, very dysfunctional families, and I know firsthand how that can, like, affect a person. But if you have the right coping mechanisms, that goes, like, a long way. It doesn't have to, like, impact you for the rest of your life. Because you're still your own person, you know? So yeah. This character didn't have the best coping mechanisms. But at the end, he basically looked at her and he told her, like, I have other things to think about. Exactly. Like your girlfriend. That's literally Chester. Like, Chester also did not have a great childhood, to say the least. But now he's like, I have you. I also, like, got him out of that place. So, yeah. And he's a great person, like, regardless of the past. So, you know? But then he told her, like, you are exactly like me. You don't even know it. Because she was like, she had a different thought process than her father, but she had the same exact extremism and all that jazz. And of course her plan didn't work, because the neighbor country still decided to attack anyways, even though she had killed her father for them. So she actually has his entire body just, like, preserved in his office. And she is now ruling. But instead of a white wedding dress, she now wears a red one, because she feels like her innocence is lost. And, like, she has too much blood on her hands anyway. And she is now in her father's position, leading the war. And that's fun, because she's actually... we decided to, like, play another D&D campaign inside the same world, and she's now the lady in red instead of the lady in white. And she's still a very prevalent character, now just played by the DM, because she having to think, because she's obviously like the leader of one of the two countries. So that's really cool. She became as ruthless as her dad. She did not have the coping mechanisms, and she did not fix anything. So it was very cool to just like at the end of the campaign basically be told like, your character did not change anything. She literally became what she feared most, and is now struggling in that position. Family issues, exactly. Like generational trauma, basically. Moving on to the next character. The next character is named Mort. To be specific, Morticia Mortigai. We love her. It basically means double deaf, like Mort, double deaf. And she is this little tiny tiefling. She looks like a child, but she's actually a grown woman. And that has its reasons, which I'll get into later. She's, of course, very pink, because I like to make my characters rather pink. She's a little tiefling lady. Has these little tiny horns and everything. She's a druid and a bard in one. And there's... That should not, Mordecai and Rigby... Yeah. Fun, right? But she should not... That a druid and a bard in one, like multi-classing, should not work. But the only reason that works is because I rolled an 18 both on wisdom and charisma. The other stats are high too. I'm very good at like having luck rolls for some reason. I don't know why. Very happy with it though. Don't want it to stop. But now I have to think again. I am sorry. Let me... Y'all take another sip of your drink. I also refilled mine because more coffee. I am a luck thief. I suck all my friends dry. Don't quote that. I steal everybody's luck. That's true. Nezo, just because you're in chat right now, you'll be unlucky. Because right now I'm stealing your luck as well. I hope you know. Mind is just working here again. Oh yeah, Mort. So she's a druid bard, and she has an entire backstory. She says things that are so weird and random. Like someone mentioned like, oh no, my toe got bit. And she was like, I have a bag of toes that I keep for snacks. Wait a minute. Mic. Oh, my mic, it says that it's still working. Okay. I was scared there for a moment. He really is in hibernation right now. He's not gonna wake up, is he? No, he's not. Okay. So she says like random stuff like that, like, oh, I want to steal your toes so I can put them in my bag and I can chew on them later. Or she'd be like, oh, I've never actually had normal meat. Stuff like that, right? Like offhand comments that sound terrible. Also, she's just in general really weird. Whenever she gets attacked or something, she's also like, oh no, do it more. Like stuff like that. She's really weird. Turns out, it all started like not even with Mort. It started with her parents, because her parents were unable to conceive any children. So they went to a fae, because Mort is now trapped in the Feywild. They went to a fae and they made a deal, and they literally said like, listen, we want a child. And the fae was like, okay, but then you'll have 2 children, and then I want one of those children in exchange for the other one. And the other one will have prosperity and stuff like that. And they were like, okay, fair enough. And they made a deal. So they were able to conceive one child, and they had to have another, so the mother actually cheated with a devil. So that creates a tiefling, which the tiefling is Mort. And already in the belly, in the womb. Her brother literally sucked nutrients from her. That's why she's now so small, so fragile, so still like underdeveloped and child looking, and she also has like a bunch of mental health problems because literally the life was basically sucked away from her. He was literally already sucking out her life force. He came out well developed, very strong, everything. She came out little fragile and everything. Her parents from the get-go just decided, you're the tiefling, we hate you. You'll be named Mort because your only purpose is to be sacrificed to the Fae. Like, you have to die for your brother to actually live. That's your only purpose in life. That's the only meaning you have. The rest doesn't matter. You're a monster and he isn't. Like, he is perfect. He's the hero that everybody needs. And her brother was named Lavi, which is like life. Which means life. And they literally trapped her down in the sewers because they didn't even want to look at her because she was not part of the family. She was not part of them. So they trapped her down there. And she did not learn any speech from them, whatever. The only reason she learned how to talk a little bit was because of her brother. He would come down every day, bring her scraps of food to keep her alive, talk to her, tell her stories. She didn't know anything about the outside, didn't know what anything looked like. The only thing she knew were from his stories, so she like interpreted them in weird ways. That's why like when they saw a unicorn, she was like, oh, I thought they'd look... I don't know, like, I always say random stuff. Like, I thought their horn was on their chin. Stuff like that. She made friends with the rats, and she is convinced that her druidic powers came from the rats, that she learned them from them. She didn't. But she would become part of their colony, basically. So she's very much more attuned with nature and with animals than she is with humans. Her parents would literally put her through the worst treatment imaginable. And then one day, she was taken upstairs because it would be the day of reckoning. Like, the Fae would come to collect their debt. The thing is, her parents really didn't read the contract until that day and realized, oh shoot, it read that the Fae can basically pick the child they take. So they were freaked out. So they tried to feed Mort as much food as they could to make her look any healthier, but of course that didn't work. They put her in these nice outfits, but they didn't fit properly. They were way too loose for her tiny body, but they made her look like a noble, basically. They put her brother, who was well-built, giant, strong dude, in scraps and like put dirt on him to make him look like a homeless guy, but it didn't work. It was too late already. So the Fae arrived, and of course he already knew, and he wasn't stupid. So he wanted to take Lavi. But in that moment, like, Mort's entire world collapsed. Because the only thing she was raised to believe, and the only thing she thought she was, and her entire identity was, you are supposed to die so your brother can live. The only way you are redeemable is if your brother lives and you die and you sacrifice yourself. It's the only thing that can make you a good person, basically. She was told that she was like the monster, that she was the most horrible thing alive, all that jazz, all of her life, and that she was like the only good thing she could ever do. Yeah, tragic backstory, very sad. Was die. And then she would see her brother be the one chosen. But that's not how the prophecy is supposed to go. That was not her purpose. She is not supposed to live. She is supposed to be the one picked. So she freaked out. And because she had such a burst of energy, such a burst of rage, basically the Fae magic went wild. That's how it got attached to her and gave her the druidic powers. Because of her outburst. She got so outraged that she lashed out. She first saw her brother, because of the magical outburst, it went wrong, the spell went wrong, and her brother literally shrunk. Like, he died and he shrunk to little mummification that was this big, like just very tiny, of himself. She held him close and was like crying desperately. Then her mom tried to take him out of her hands, but she lashed out at the entire family, because in that moment she was like, you were supposed to make this go the right way. Like, she was helpless. She was like an animal that just like, she did not understand anything that just happened. She could not process it. The only thing she realized was, I am now stuck with this entire family that hates me, that mistreats me. My brother is dead. The only person that ever cared about me just died. Because of them in her eyes, because of the Fae in her eyes, all that stuff. They were supposed to make this. They promised that it would go this way. Why is she still here? She's not supposed to live. She's literally not made to live. She has no tools to handle this in any proper way. So she got rid of her entire family. In a burst of rage, of course. Like a very animalistic way. The rats basically joined in because they were like, oh, you're attacking, we're attacking, right? And then she was completely alone. Such a coping mechanism. Thank you. It worked so well. No. Then the Fae took pity on her, but that's what she thought. In reality, the Fae actually saw in her a drive that he was like, listen, her only purpose is her brother. She's gonna basically do, yeah, literally, Alone on the Edge. I love that song, by the way, but like, literally, that's Mort. It's so sad. But the Fae took pity on her. And he, well, not pity, he didn't take pity. But Mort thought he took pity on her. In reality, he was like, you have enough drive to basically bring your brother back. Also, if a Fae curse is not fulfilled in the lifetime of the one that made it, like the deal, it is being passed down to the children. So as long as Mort is alive, she can have kids, she can have twins, and then one of them can be taken away. Right? So he wanted to at least get that out of it. Sorry. So he took her and dropped her off at a Fae circus, where she, because she was a druid, she could shapeshift into any animal they would like. She would do these barbaric acts. They would literally set her on fire in her beast form. They would make her do tricks. That's where she learned how to be a bard. And that's where she learned speech. So she can talk very well. She's very charismatic. She just doesn't know how norms or proper conversations or stuff like that work. She knows how to use people and like get what she wants with her charm. She just doesn't know the real way to make a connection with about anyone, because she's not been taught that. Then she basically gets done because she's just being used again, and she, you know, she's a monster anyway. She already, in the Feywild, karma is everything, and she already fucked up her karma so bad with like her entire family that she was like, listen, I will just kill my boss and go on, I guess. Because what's another murder on my list? I'm already fucked up and I'm a monster anyways. She believed she was the monster. And then she found a carnival. But in between there, she actually lost her necklace. Oh, she turned her brother, her dead brother, like the little mummification. She turned that into a necklace and would wear it just to find a cure somewhere for her brother. Then one day, she lost it, and then she was desperate to get it back, and so she arrived at another carnival, and that's where she met the party, and that's where they are now. I already know the spoilers for like the future, because her story is gonna end beautifully, but right now she's desperately trying to learn morality and trying to learn how to be a good person. When the party told her like, you can't lie to us anymore, she was like, okay. And from that moment on, she never lied to them again. She told them the truth, no matter how horrible it was. She had tea with a hag, thinking that this is a whole anime. All three characters you're gonna hear about at the end here, they're all gonna be complete animes. I am so sorry. But she was having tea with a hag, and because she didn't know that was a bad thing, and like made friends because she felt like the hag was genuinely interested in her. Then she got told like, oh, that's not true, they're very dangerous, and she was like, oh no, I'll be opener, like I'll be more open in communication and everything. And she also learned that everything was sentient in the Feywild. Like, you had talking trees, talking vegetables, everything lived. So she was like, okay, if I have to pick something I'm gonna eat the one thing that hurt me the most during my life. Which is not animals, which is not plants, because those two actually always treated her well. It's humans. But then specifically awful humans. So she's a cannibal. But she only eats the evil people, basically. She saves children all the time. She basically, whenever she walks somewhere, she's just like down in the mud and everything, because the world literally changes around your karma. So one of her friends just lives, like, he walks down this shiny path with like little meadows and all that stuff, and she is literally just in a swamp. She has a frog pet with her. She has a little lily pad that she can float around on. She tries her best to actually do good things all of the time, but it's so hard for her because she doesn't know what's good and what isn't, and people aren't really bothering to teach her what's good and what isn't. So she's literally forming her own morale there, and are like trying to form a good one, which is hard for her. She's just met a guy. Oh, she's also making all of the Fae deals because she's like, I can mark myself with them. It doesn't matter anyways. If I do it, I don't want my party to suffer if there's consequences. So she's having all these little body modifications with each deal that she makes, and she gets happier with them because it makes her feel special and like as if she's having memories. And also she's very attached to the group because of course she has nobody else, but then she hears the group continuously talk about their friends at home or their family at home, and she's like, you're all I have, you know, that kind of jazz. There's gonna be a whole dramatic scene with that as well. They actually met a dragon, and she made a deal with him, and she can now sense whenever somebody meets their soulmate, and she actually saw the other party members meet their soulmates, and she was so happy. Now she actually met a guy who is not her soulmate, but it is gonna be her love interest, because soulmates, how they work in that universe is you'll have one, you'll have a fated soulmate, but you need to put in the work to actually make it work. So you have to actively pick them, turn it into a relationship by actually, you know, forming a relationship. She met this guy. She realized he was a potential soulmate, but not the one. Thing is, they're very similar. He's also a twin. He sacrificed himself for his brother as well. He is villainized by the entire thing he works for, because he works for like as a bodyguard for one of the hags now, because that was his sacrifice. He's being villainized by everybody. So he completely relates to her. And she now met him, and she likes him so much. He's a bugbear, which means he's also a literal monster, and he looks weird. Because Mort's whole thing was like, how can someone love me if I look like this? Like if I look so malformed. And he was like, I'm also I've been so pissed. I'm sorry, I am rambling about this. But he was like, yeah, no, I'm also very malformed and everybody thinks I'm a monster and stuff. And she had always been obsessed with like masks the entire time, and like he wears a mask. It's perfect. They're perfect for each other. At some point, however, he's gonna meet his soulmate, and she's gonna know, and she knows that he doesn't know, so she could potentially lie about it and be like, oh, like skip over it. But she wants to give him the chance to actually, and they're already dating at this point. She wants to give him the chance to just go be with her, because she's also used to being the second choice, and nobody ever picks her. That's her whole thing. Her parents didn't want her. Her friend group isn't picking her. All that jazz. But she's still nice enough to take him apart and be like, listen, that's your actual soulmate there. If you want to go be happy with her. It's fine. I'm happy if you're happy, and I am happy to just watch from the side. But he is gonna be the first person to literally just grab her and be like, no, you're my soulmate. I am picking you. You're the only one I want and the only one I need. And I don't care if that's my fated whatever. You're the only one I want. And at that moment, the other soulmate ties are gonna shatter. and theirs are gonna just intertwine. And she has been picked by someone for the first time ever. She also gets to save her brother, but she already saw her brother in heaven recently, and he's happy there with an actual full-grown version of her, because in heaven for him, he never hurt her. He never took that life force from her. He never was the reason she was trapped down there. He's there with like a version of her that is actually happy and that's able to be happy. And she saw that. And their heavens, their places in heaven are actually like bordered to each other, so they can actually see each other in heaven still. And she saw him be happy, but she's still gonna bring him back because she needs closure in a way. And then they'll finally get the closure because her brother's literally gonna tell her, listen, I don't mind being dead. I wanna be dead because as long as I live, you can be your own person. I don't want you to just be my shadow, because you were never meant to be the monster. You were never meant to be death. You were you. And that's good enough, you know? You're amazing as you are, all that jazz. You're capable of amazing things. She finally gets that closure from her brother. Her brother literally chooses to peacefully die again, so she can just be, and he's like, I'll be waiting for you in heaven once you're ready, but you're not ready yet. And then she gets a new name, and it's gonna be Vivienne, because from that point on, she'll be the one that actually lived, and she'll be live. And she's actually gonna run a carnival, and she's gonna be she is the hero, because at that point they already killed all the hags. That's how she got her brother back. So she's literally the hero that saved the entire Feywild with her party. So she's not the villain or like the monster that she thought she was. She's capable of saving people. Then she saved her brother. And now she's the one that lived, and she actually makes a carnival, and she treats the employees well. She actually takes over the existing one, actually. She's treating the employees well. Nah, episode 22, yeah. We should make a show out of this. She actually treats the people rather well. She's very loving, very kind, and a very important person to the Feywild overall. And she actually gets to marry her love interest and everything. So it's a very sweet and like good ending. All of the prophecies about her, everything basically comes back. She's able to turn her karma around, and she basically gets the happiest ending she could be. I already discussed that with the DM. The people in the party don't know that's gonna be my ending yet, so don't tell them. But that's Mort for you. Like, the moral grayness of being able to play her and be like, no, I'm a cannibal, and I can actually argue why. Or like, oh no, I'm friends with a hag, because she was nice to me, and we had tea. Or like, oh, things like that, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm gonna take this toad that's secretly a prince, but he doesn't know, so it's fine. I love her so much. Next character we have is Vera Lee. I have, actually, my Baldur's Gate series that I have is about her. It all also started when she was... No, not yet. I am sorry. I have not opened Discord yet. I'm too busy. I'm sorry. I have, like, the only place I have the PompyPie Discord is on this PC that I'm streaming on right now, and I just haven't opened it yet, or even my own Discord, because I am just busy with school. I am so sorry. Oh, I love that. I will check it out once I have, like, more time due to school. I am sorry, Nezo. I'm sorry. I just have to pass, you know. But thinking again, there's a giant spider up there, but I don't want to kill him because he collects bugs for me. And I don't want to be stung by mosquitoes. So he's doing a good job. Thinking again. Okay, Vera Lee. She, well, that also starts with her parents, of course. Her father is a... Ooh, cool. Her father is a serial killer, but not just a serial killer. He's an undead serial killer, like a zombie. He has this giant axe that collects souls, and that's what he thrives off of. He's very erratic, very impulsive, very mentally ill, um, delusions, hallucinations, all of it. And at some point he saw her mother. And once again, the same thing with like Zerona's mother happened again, I guess. And then her mother literally cursed him. She was like, your downfall, your demise will be by your own doing. Verily. She realized she was pregnant. She did not want to be, so she literally took the child out and raised it in, but she needed to get her to actually be grown, because of course the child would be her father's demise. So she raised her in a cauldron without touch, without a loving mother's anything, basically. So Verily turned cold, completely void of emotions or anything. And once she was big enough, she stayed with her mom. She stayed with her mom, but that was more because her mother kept her alive. Not alive, but like, she lived, I guess. She was surviving. At some point she then visited a pond nearby, which she didn't know, but like there were rumors that there was a serial killer hiding there. Turns out it was her dad. The two boys she actually went there with, like the two boys from the village, got killed right in front of her, and she did not react to it one bit. She stayed stone cold. And in that moment her dad saw the resemblance, and he realized that she was his. But she was better than he was, because she was void of emotions, calculating where he was impulsive and irrational. So he decided, like, you are gonna come with me, you're gonna be under my wing, and I'm gonna make the literal perfect serial killer out of you. And the only thing she could really feel was like the adrenaline while killing someone, and that's what she got off on, kinda. Her first kill was actually her own mom, because at that point it was like a change of management. She didn't need her anymore to survive. She now had her dad, so she could rely on him. So she got rid of her mother. Right? Great way to treat your parents. But at that point she got like, she went with her dad. He raised her as well as he could. She thought of the plan to like literally, he was already a clown, by the way. He was fully always dressed up in like horror clown gear. She was like, what if we start a circus, we send out free tickets to everybody who we know is evil and a criminal and won't be missed, and we massively just have like a murder hobo fest and get rid of all of them in our circus. And he thought that was a great idea, so they did that, and they went around the country, and like they weren't getting caught. But at some point he was becoming erratic, because she was starting to get connections. She didn't care about them, but like outside connections, of course, or like police. And then he would get jealous and he would kill them. And she was like, now you're being too obvious and you're doing this too out in the open. So she needed, because she caught wind that the police were actually on her ass and on his ass because of that. She was like, this is now becoming dangerous for me because of your erratic behavior. You're threatening my life, and because of your impulsiveness, you're threatening my life. Yes, there's always a lot of murder. This is literally a story about a serial killer. What did you expect? Like, in this story, the next one there isn't. In this story, there's a lot of murder. This is my evil character, by the way. Just completely evil. Also irredeemable. For taking a sip of her drink. This is not a good one. Sorry, hamster check. Anyways. So she went to the police and she was like crying because of course she learned how to use emotions. She saw them on her father, so she knew how to use them. So she went to the police, to like the guards and stuff, and she was crying and was like, oh no, he's actually holding me hostage. I am so scared. I don't know how to get out of this. I don't know how to well, anything. Like, please help. I'm stuck in this. And the police, of course, saw like a very, what they thought, because very beautiful young elf girl. Or human girl, I'm not sure. And they were like, oh no, we gotta help you. So they arrested her dad, and she like went up to her dad and she like whispered like, no, you have to just do this for me. Don't tell them I'm with you. Let's just indeed say that you kidnapped me and stuff, because that's the only way I'll be able to get us out of this, and I'll still be walking free. So he went along with that. He made her a promise like, we'll always be together, because we're both like, you and I are just one and the same. We're made from the same flesh. And so he went to rot in jail, and of course she didn't get him out because she realized she could become a detective. So she trained really hard. She joined the guards, and she actually became a serial killer detective, and she would hunt down serial killers and was basically able to in that way kill for free, because by thinking again. Thinking brain. Because if she was able to just kill for free, she would be able to get her adrenaline rush for free without being arrested or get into trouble and anything like that. So she actually joined their forces, and she would go on that hunt. But then her dad got impatient, and hello, the gaming writer. Hi. We're talking about the same characters you've heard about already, once again. But hi, welcome. So she went on that whole tangent again. Then her father noticed that she was not coming for him. He was just rotting away in a cell. He also needed new kills because obviously he needed a life force. And it was running out. So he actually broke free from the cell. And the police told her, and she was like, oh, I am responsible because I am like the serial killer hunter. I'm gonna go in first because I also need to talk to him. Because if I can make him go quietly, then this is all over and this is easier. Of course he wouldn't go quietly. Also, she was a very sickly kid because she didn't get any care as a child. So he basically, when she was supposed to die, he basically saved her by also turning her undead and also linking her to the ex. So if he goes down, she would go down. Like, they're both linked to that ex. So she would go to the building they assumed he'd be. And he would literally put that entire building on fire so she could not go anywhere. Then he would burn half of her body because she still looked like her mother, not like him, and he was angry about that because he was like, you're my prodigy. So yeah, pyromaniac. Woo! So he burned half of her body, literally slit like the cheek from here to here and like this, like a clown has. Because he was malforming her into the same clown he was. But then she lashed out, like, back to him. And he wanted to kill her at that point. Like, X-raised. But he couldn't, because that was his daughter. But she could. So she took his axe, after a struggle, and she hit him. But right before she did, he actually said a curse, and he grabbed her head. And his soul basically went from his body into her body. And from that point on, he could mess with her brain. So he would rewrite her memories. He would take over at points and all that jazz. And all of a sudden, she did have emotions from that point. Because her father's like emotional side and erratic behavior and stuff would be mixed in with her emotional side. And he could manipulate her brain and stuff. And the more she felt, the more her dad could take over. And for the longest time, like 300 years, she'd literally be walking around thinking she was just 22, chilling. She didn't even know she was undead. She had half of her, the completely ruined side she would have patched up with black tape. She'd still be a detective, but she would get fired and replaced all the time, so her dad would literally send her to another county. He would give her a new name, so it was like Valerie, Vivienne, all that stuff. Her real name is Verily. Um, he would make her act certain ways, all that jazz. Think she was somebody that she wasn't. All of that. Until eventually he'd possibly be strong enough again to get his own body, and then they could be together again. Because he still loves her in a weird way. And whenever she's active, her eyes glow blue, but whenever he's active, her eyes go green. And whenever she kills, she can do an extra attack, which literally his soul just goes out of her body and attacks another person without her noticing. But like the funny thing is, she doesn't know she's undead. She doesn't know anything about this. She's actively hunting him because she thinks he's still alive as a serial killer, trying to trace his steps. But he's the only serial killer she's never been able to catch because he's not alive anymore. And he's literally inside of her. So how's she gonna catch? So that's the story. And now we're just like, the party is obviously gonna try and get him out of her. But the thing is, the moment they do that, she turns back to her cold, emotionless nature. She'll be in possession of the axe, so she'll be immortal permanently. And she will probably take over the entire world and just be evil. So that's not an option. Letting them fuse would mean she would have more emotions, but then she'd also be stuck with her father continuously, just trying to get her to kill everybody. There's not really a good ending for this character. Whoa, that's a lot! Also makes sense, to be honest. But that is a lot. So, no, like, that's the story of Verily. Small break. Because we're going to the last character now, which is Odette. But like, Verily has this very special place in my heart. Yeah, little water break, take a sip. But she has a very special place in my heart because she's very cool to play. Because whenever I play, I get to switch between like a very dead character that just talks like this, monotone, does not care about anything, or a literal serial killer clown, and I just get to giggle and like laugh and scream and everything. So that's cool. Like and subscribe if you, or I'll take your left lung. You heard him, y'all. He's serious. There was also this entire thing where one of my friends just joined the friend group and had his first ever D&D session, and he just made a random character because he didn't know what to do with it yet and it didn't have purpose yet. And my character gave it purpose by killing him off in the first session. And then turning him into a zombie warlock that would literally just be there to service us. That entire... You should, it's great. But like that entire scene, it was insane. Like I was staring my friend in the eyes while we were just having a whole dialogue about it. It was great. It was scary. I love that. It's still such like a significant moment for our friend group. But that's Verily. I don't have a DM or an understanding of how it works. You just gotta like get your friends together. You can literally do it with 3 people. Make one person the elective D&D. Get yourself one of those books. Then they have like all of it worked out for you. And then just play. Oh, get dice as well. Dice are important. Shall we move to the last character? That's my only ever written good character. Well, I guess my first character was good. Yes. Okay, my first character was also good. But like this one is good as well. Her name is Odette. And I love her so much. Like she's such an active part of my brain. I don't know why. She lives in Waterdeep. She's a very famous person. The first one was good. This one is better. Yes, this one is just purity itself. Like, she is the nicest person you'll ever meet. It still has an entirely sad story, but she's the nicest person you will ever meet. Anyways, Odette is very near and dear to me. She's actually, she is a... Now I have to say this right. She's a dark elf. So she's a drow. And they don't have the greatest reputation, but she's not like that at all. She's the nicest being you'll ever meet. She's a musician slash dancer slash just in general performer. She sings as well. She is one of the most famous people in all of Waterdeep. She has light gray skin that makes her look kind of like stone. She has all of it is like white and like very pastel pink, her entire aesthetic. Even her eyes, like one is white and the other is like pastel pink. She has a little tattoo of like an eye here. What else? She has this giant key on the back of her that's like, you know, those dolls that you just have to wind up to let them walk and stuff. That kind of key. I imagine her as a white pink weeping angel now. Yes. You know, actually that's kind of accurate. That's like, that is like what she looks like in her face. For no reason. No, it's kind of fair, to be honest. She's literally a doll. Like, she has joints everywhere. Just like there's not a lot of human left in her, I guess. Or like human, a lot of drow it left. There's just, it's been like, all of it is just like doll. She also has... I gotta think. Oh yeah, she has a permanent smile on her face. Whenever I play her, I have to be like this. Because it's not a genuine smile. It's literally the corners of her mouth are just permanently stuck that way. And it hurts like hell for her. She also walks around on like her tippy toes like a ballerina would. Also forced to. Also hurts like hell permanently. Because she may not have any... Like, she still has her organs. She has crippling depression. Probably. To be honest. She still has her organs and she still has her nervous system. So she feels everything. But she does not have the rest of, like, her human parts. Because her story is very sad. She wasn't always like that. She used to be a normal drow. She was actually raised by, like, her mother, who... Her mother, like, the drow families are like mafia families. They're very cruel. Like, the way they're raised, that's how drows are raised, usually, I believe. That's at least in our D&D campaign, that's like that. But her mother actually loved her. She just didn't know how to express this. Oh, by the way, in drow culture, women are like the leaders. Like, there's a patriarchy, but like an awful patriarchy, but like reversed. Know what I mean? So she didn't know her dad, obviously, but her mother actually cared for her. But Odette was from the beginning, was very soft. She didn't want to hurt people. She didn't want to extort people or whatever. She just could not... Yeah, women rule, literally. But like in the worst way possible. She didn't want to... She just couldn't. And her mother, normally they would literally just kill off the child then. But her mother kept her alive and actually indulged her in her interests and stuff. She was very cold towards her and still tried to force her to be something she wasn't. But at least she wouldn't... Bad evil women rule. Literally. Yeah, that's... Yes. But Odette was not picking up on it at all. And at some point she was like, okay, I want to keep my child safe. So I will engage her to a family of drow that I know she'll be safe with. And she'll be protected, and she can still be like the dancer and the artist that she is, without having to die or anything like that. But Odette interpreted this as, oh, I'm being pushed away. I am being forced to marry someone I don't want to. My freedom is gonna be gone. The little freedom I still have left is gonna be gone. I cannot live with that. Tragic. So she ran away. Not knowing that her mother actually cared for her, by the way. She thought her mother hated her. And that she had now only just ruined their relationship more. And that she could never be redeemed because of this. So she ran away. And drows, on the surface, they're being discriminated against terribly. Like, awfully by basically all the other races. So she experienced a lot of that, and the only thing she ever wanted was to just put a smile on people's faces. But people didn't even bat her like a second eye, except for this racism, indeed. Except for this one guy. No, don't. No, Nezo. You're getting cancelled, Nezo. We're cancelling you on Twitter right now. Digital footprint. But, I have to think now. I am the whole you cancel yourself. I just picture, like, you have your other accounts and you just start, like, posting about yourself. Like, clipping this and, like, canceling this one alter ego you have. That would be hecka funny, to be honest. And then you just argue in the comments with yourself. It's like one Nezo against another Nezo against another Nezo against another Nezo. And you just start doxing yourself at some point, like sending your own address everywhere. I can already picture it. I want to watch that go down. I don't want to watch that go down, but like, at some point, for some reason, there's also gonna be this account about like Harry, but like cat pictures, and that one is also joining in on the drama. You are evil, me. Oh my goodness. Nuh-uh. Oh! We're getting the discussion here. We're gonna get the freaking rundown. Oh goodness. Say Uno reverse. I am emptying this entire thing of iced coffee. I don't care if I sleep at this point. Who needs sleep anyways? You do, by the way. To all of the viewers, you do. Also to Nezo, you do too. All of you need sleep except me. I'm allowed to not have sleep. That's a lie, by the way. Anyways, oh, the hamster is still so cute. Wait. I'm gonna take a picture again, really quickly. It's sleeping on its back and everything. It's really adorable. We just quickly check. Bum biddy 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 bum. Oh, that's fine actually. I am sleeplessness. That's two of you saying I'm sleeplessness. Shouldn't there be one sleepy Nezo and then the other one sleeplessness? We are this is getting... Whoa! I'm Batman. But, to get back to the story, there was this one guy that approached her. And it was an elf guy, like a very beautiful, golden hair. He looked very fatherly, very trustable, had this aura about him. And he basically took care of her, and at some point he was like, listen, I killed the fake me, he's now gone. Good job! Where are you gonna bury him? just one Nezo dancing on the grave of another. You're gonna just hide the body. In my internet collection, you just have like a file of dead Nezos. Oh no. But this guy was rather trustable looking. So he was like, listen, if you sign this contract and you work with me, I will promise you your reputation will get better. People will actually start listening to you. You'll be able to forever make people smile all the time. And she was naive. Because she didn't have anybody. And she was used to like all that other stuff. So she trusted him and she signed the contract. Dumb, because she literally just literally signed her soul away with that. Not knowing she did that. So he now owned her. Oh, that's a big yawn! Oh my goodness. Oh, this is literally the cutest hamster you'll ever meet. Let the fine tales continue. Let thine tales continue. I will. So she signed her soul away, and he basically took full control of her life. She was not allowed to have any social contacts outside of him. And she quickly discovered he's not human. He is what we call an entity, because I don't even know at this point what he is yet, because this campaign is still ongoing. The DM hasn't decided what he is yet, either. It's funny. So this campaign is just still going. He is basically a whole bunch of people at times. Whenever she's performing on stage, he is the manager, he is the backup dancer, he is everybody, and she learned to notice which ones are him by the way of speech, because he can't quite sound human the right way. There's something, he is a statue. Imagine. Like a gargoyle. But he is just not humanly enough. So she knows. She can notice. Yes, eat your own feet. I would too. Sorry, the hamster is scratching himself. Slowly waking up, I think. That's a big itch. Anyways. A transforming statue. Yes. So he is basically everybody and all that stuff. She has the little eye tattoo, remember? That's basically his way of literally being able to see whatever she does all of the time. And he was a dying entity that gets bigger the more laughter that's created in his name. Like the good emotions basically, and specifically like dancing and high emotions like laughter and stuff, those feed into him and into his power. And she single-handedly basically revived him to his previous level of power. Because he was like a dying god. So he's literally obsessed with her. He can't let her go. And at some point he realized she's gonna get old. And the thing with ballerinas is they retire young. So he couldn't let that happen. So he started literally operating on her. Replacing all of the body parts that she has. She should make that eye look at the sun, then it will turn blind. I wish that worked. It's more of like just like an icon. Like a drawing. But it works that way, it's weird. Like people that follow her, like her fans literally draw it on themselves and stuff, because it's like a fashion statement. They all also like recreate her joints and stuff. Even though it's for her, it hurts her so much to see that. But she can't tell them, because then the entity will hurt her. And she also has just that smile on her face. So everybody always thinks she's happy. All of the time. But at least she's doing her dream of making people happy. But even though it's like a superficial laughter, because people aren't actually happy. They're just laughing and happy at her performance. So she's not genuinely making them happy. If you know what I understand with them, they just are laughing in that moment. There's no sustainability in that. There's no long-term happiness or inspiration for the person. But that's what he grows from. So he is obsessed with her because she's his only client and the only ever successful one. He's had them in the past, but they, like celebrities do, they died from drug overdoses or they couldn't handle his intensity. So he made like a bunch of rules for her and everything. He turned her body into this robot that could forever perform for him as much as he needs it. The only parts of her body that he can't replace are literally her brain and her voice. Because that's her creativity and that's her literal voice. And he also, at some point he's gonna replace her heart, which will be the roughest part for her, because replacing her heart would literally mean that she can't die anymore and she'd literally be stuck to him forever. Because death is like the only outcome for her that she could actually, in her eyes right now, be free again. Oh, he is waking up. He's actually waking up right now. It's very adorable. Just scratching his entire body everywhere. He hasn't even had food yet because I couldn't wake him. It's very cute. Burn the puppet to the ground. I mean, she would die finally, but she can still feel everything because she has so many nerves. Make chaos take her body. That would be a more merciful thing than what she's experiencing right now, to be honest. But they have this like entire trauma bond because the only person she's ever been with, except for like her mom, is now him. So she is bonded to him in that weird twisted way. It's a very abusive relationship, like specifically mentally abusive, because he manipulates her as well. But that's like her backstory, is that's how she's now stuck to him. And now she's met this giant, bulky angel lady that's an Esmer as well. But she actually broke away from her god, but she's still very loyal to the god, and it's very complicated. Also a weird trauma bond type situation there, so they understand each other in a way. And that's the character of my friend, and they're actually made to be lovers to each other. Well, not made to be, but like they're gonna end up as lovers because they're perfect for each other and they're very cute together. But my character can't be trauma bond lovers. Well, not that. They're actually gonna be a great relationship together. But during the night, the only thing she ever really loved was dreaming, and she can't dream anymore. When it's nighttime, she has to shut herself out, like off, and is in this like black eternity where he meets her, and then he changes something about her. So like he kisses her cheek against her will, and her cheek turns pink like a blush, or he touches her like with her jaw, and it turns into another, like a new flexible joint, or like a more flexible joint and stuff like that. So he changes her during the night. But now that she's actually met a friend that's kind of indestructible, she starts kicking off against him a little bit. But right now that's not going that well, because he basically was like, okay, fine, you don't want to listen to me anymore, then don't listen to me anymore. Find out for yourself. And now she doesn't hear him in her head anymore, and she's like terrified, because of course it's gonna go wrong. And then during the night, he's literally, because the friend is like a fallen angel, right? Like broken off wings, literally taken away from her. Odette in the middle of the night is just gonna get her back ripped open, and wings, these beautiful angel-like wings, are gonna be placed there without him giving the normal kindness when he does it, or like she's gonna feel every last bit of it. And she can't even tell her friend that it was not out of malice that she actually got the wings. Her friend is gonna believe that she got them to spite her, because her friend was the one that like gave her the plan to do the thing that backfired. So he makes her more dark elf. Literally, he makes her emo, I guess. So she now has these wings, but they're useless. She can't fly with them. They're very heavy, so it's just extra weight on like her tippy toes that she has to walk on all the time. They're very sensitive, so whenever she bumps into anything with them, it's horrible pain. And now her friend basically possibly hates her because she thinks she did that out of spite. And then you also have all of these fans that are now like walking the streets with these fake angel wings on their back, and her friend will continuously be confronted by the fact that she's not an angel anymore, and that's gonna get a whole... They should be, but they can't, because if she'll do that, he'll literally just like, at that point he'll take her heart, and she'll just be done. We're also very tricky with this character because, like, we don't know if she's actually gonna be able to have a happy ending because she's so intertwined with this entity. It's all very, very, like, a lot. But that's a way it's gonna go. She's probably gonna get a happy ending, but she's also gonna really love the Esmer, which is called Fidel. So you have Odette and Fidel. Oh, the hamster is finally trying to dig upwards. We might actually see him today. He's also still tired, so he stops halfway. But like those wings are gonna be a very pivotal moment. It's gonna be an intense session because like the entity is literally gonna appear behind her, forcefully just ripping her apart. And then the next, like, her friend is gonna be mad, and then the next time she sleeps, he's gonna be like, listen, I told you she's not gonna trust you, she's not gonna be with you forever, like, only I can be with you. I've been with you for like more than 100 or like more than 50 years, elf live a long time. And just like, you don't have to trust her, like, you trust me. Not yet. Like I said, I am just like, also when I'm done with this stream, I just like shut it off, download the VOD, and then I'll just upload it, and then I focus on homework right now. Like, that's all my mind is capable of in this moment. But like, that is the entirety of like Odette's story right now. She's the kindest person. She'll never do anything to harm anybody. But she's very much just like trapped herself. Focus on homework with music. I never do. I have to put on YouTube videos in the background because people have to talk about stuff for me to focus, and I don't know why. I hope I can like provide that for other people, to be honest. Oh, the hamster literally just dug himself up one layer. Wait, look, he dug himself up a layer and then went to sleep again. I wish I had the hamster's level of productivity here. You're so great. Yeah, no, he's sleeping again. Anyways, I'll finish my iced coffee and then, cause like, let's all just finish our drinks together. I have listened to Blacklight District on Spotify. Oh, what kind of music? Can you describe it? I'll finish my coffee and then I'll go sleep. That's the funniest sentence ever, but I also still have to like cuddle with the rats because they're waiting for me, so I'm gonna be like cuddling with the rats on the couch for like another hour. You can't describe him. I'm afraid to just like play him live. Rain animators. I don't know what that is. What is that? Also, my scheduled video on like my YouTube has just now uploaded. And it's like the first ever edited video by that one friend. And it's like the hateful boyfriend funniest moments edit, and it's a great video. I'm very happy about it, very proud. PompyPie is still winning as like the podcast name. He makes very great Minecraft animations. Ooh. Nice, I don't like the pigeon game. I'm sorry. I love it. It's so weird. Which makes it fun in my eyes. Like, I like the dramatics of it, like the randomness and stuff. I have not had the brain lately to just like play any serious games because of homework. It's taking all my freaking... But PompyPie is great. I know. I can't add it to the poll for some reason. Maybe you can comment it? Wait. Oh, he's sleeping. Nezo, maybe you can place it like as a comment underneath the poll, and if your comment gets more likes than the PompyPie gets like in votes, then I'll choose PompyPie over PompyPie. So just like put in brackets like she'll pick this one if it gets the more likes than the votes. Then that's how we'll edit. Sorry for that sounds, by the way. Anyways, this is gonna be the end. Can also put an image poll. That's cool. I think I'm gonna use like the community tab more often because that's cool. Anyways, this was it. If you made it thus far in like the YouTube video, please like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for experiencing this extra little slice of the PompyPie world with me, I guess. And chatting with me about like all my random characters. Thank you, Nezo, so much for being in chat here with me. thank you all so much for watching. Stay hydrated indeed. Take care of yourself. You deserve it. Get yourself a snack. Treat yourself well, because you need it. You deserve it. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And for Nezo, indeed, good night. And vote for PlateauPie. This video will go up like next week, and then the poll will already be done. But yes. Anyways, I will see all of you later. Bye!